Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So, we have an election coming up in a couple of weeks out of the state of Georgia, and this will determine the outcome of one Senate seat. It will determine the final outcome of the United States Senate, although Democrats will retain control regardless, even if it is 50-50, because of the fact that Kamala Harris will be breaking ties in the Senate for at least the next 2 years. But still, this is a very important election. Not a lot of people are talking about it, but Raphael Warnock is going to be going up against Herschel Walker. I think that both sides are a little bit disillusioned with politics given the whole midterm cycle, and the whole Senate control is not on the line to the point where it will likely be a lower turnout election overall. But what is at stake exactly? What do I anticipate will happen? We're about to find out in this video, but first I have to tell you guys about the Support the Second coin, because as you guys know, the Second Amendment has been under attack in this country by the left for quite some time. So what better way to show your support for the Second Amendment and gun rights by getting a free Second Amendment is my gun permit coin. Just pay for shipping. You can get yours in the link in the description or the pinned comment down below. And all orders are fulfilled within 24 hours of purchase, so act while you can. So, the Georgia runoff. We had one after 2020, and we are going to have one right now, except this one will only determine one Senate seat. Technically, both Senate seats were up for grabs in the Georgia runoffs in early 2021. So, what we do know is that Herschel Walker will be facing off against Raphael Warnock. And a lot is at stake, because if Democrats expand their Senate majority during these midterms, despite, being the party in power, they will view it as a mandate. They will use this as a vehicle to pass through more of their agenda, regardless if it may be popular among the general public or not. And Ted Cruz went on Fox News, and what he said was correct. He's not right about everything, and we know that, but he did say that if the Democrats win Georgia, that they will roll past Manchin and end the filibuster, doing enormous damage to the country, including passing S1, which strikes down every election integrity law in the country, registers millions of illegal aliens and registered felons to vote, and they will also make millions of illegal immigrants citizens and allow them to vote. Mass amnesty. And this is very true. We talk about the consequences of this election, and they do matter. And ahead of 2024, they need to also potentially make Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. states, because of the fact that the map is not favorable for them. If Republicans win in Georgia, they have it at 50-50. Nothing is really going to get done that is super meaningful, and they will also be able to pick up West Virginia, Montana, and Ohio in 2024 with ease and then go from there. I'm not saying that we should get ahead of ourselves. I don't know what's going to happen in the Rust Belt states. I don't know what's going to happen in the Southwest, but regardless what happens in 2024, Democrats are going to be extremely lucky if they're able to hold one of those three states, and this is very true. So, in order to combat the potential permanent Republican control of the Senate, they're going to have to use their power while they have it, give amnesty. They're going to have to do things like make Puerto Rico a state, make D.C. a state, etc., in order to get 4 additional senators to maintain power. And this very well could happen if Democrats hold Georgia. So, who will win this election? We don't know. There was a poll that came out today that has Raphael Warnock ahead of Walker by 4 percentage points, approximately 2 weeks away from the election day. And polling was so awful this cycle all around that a lot of pollsters are likely just not throwing their hat in the ring. They're too afraid to poll Georgia. I can't even blame them. But it shows that Warnock, at least in this one poll, leads with independents by 15 points and has consolidated his black support to nearly 90%. Black turnout is going to be very key to the Democrats. They're going to need high turnout in the Atlanta metro. Republicans are going to need higher turnout in some of the smaller metros in the rural areas, and also limit those suburban margins as well. And Herschel Walker is going to need to get support from the state party because the state party did very well in the other races in 2022. Brian Kemp steamrolled Stacey Abrams. She's going to work at her favorite establishment now, McDonald's, because that's the only place she can get a job because she can't get a job in politics in the state of Georgia anymore. So Brian Kemp is going to have to help him out. Brian Kemp did fairly well in some of these counties in suburban Atlanta, at least for a Republican. He won Fayette County by 14. He held the margin in Gwinnett County to 11 points. He held the margin in Cobb County to 5 points. And compare that to Herschel Walker, who only won Fayette by 3, lost Gwinnett by 20, and lost Cobb by 17. So he's underrunning Kemp by 10 points or so in these suburbs, the people that voted for Warnock and then Republican down ballot for some reason. He's going to need Brian Kemp to come out for him. He's going to need to get people voting for him early and voting often the way the Democrats do. Remember, beat them at their own game. We're going to talk about this in a future video, possibly within a couple of days or so. And furthermore, the establishment needs not to sabotage Herschel Walker. He was outspent 3-1 in the first round, and we know this. He still came within 38,000 votes or so, and that's with a lot of things going up against him. He still narrowly was able to, force a runoff, and that's a very good thing. But could the establishment abandon this election in an attempt to make him lose so they could have that mandate going for 2024? Oh, look, another Trump endorsee in the primary ended up losing the election, despite the fact that Herschel Walker got nearly 70% of the primary vote. He was going to win that primary regardless if Trump endorsed him or not. Could someone else maybe have won in round one against Raphael Warnock? Yeah, I think so. Herschel Walker did have a decent amount going up against him. He's not exactly the most well-spoken guy. He has a lot of gaffes, but so did John Fetterman. John Fetterman in Pennsylvania. The only difference is Republicans, mainly the Republican establishment, are not team players, and we know this. We talk about candidate quality all the time. Well, Democrats are spending a lot of money on their far-left candidates and almost pulling off upsets in places like Wisconsin with Mandela Barnes. Thankfully, he fell short. You have their far-left and brain-dead candidates in places like Pennsylvania winning by nearly 5 percentage points. So you talk about candidate quality, this discussion only goes one way. Why don't we talk about their candidate quality? The only difference is their establishment doesn't sabotage these people, and it's true. And Republicans don't fight. They don't fight the way Democrats do in terms of getting the third parties that may hurt them in the general off the ballot. Democrats did this with the Green Party. For the longest time, they had trouble winning swing states, in part because of the fact that the Green Party would take away 1 to 2 percentage points of the electorate. They lost the 2000 election because of Ralph Nader, one could argue. And what did they do? Well, they used their legal team, they weaponized the power that they had to their benefit, and they got the Green Party off the ballot. Why can't Republicans do the same thing to the Libertarian candidate? The Libertarian candidate in this race got 81,000 votes. The margin of victory for Raphael Warnock was less than 40,000. So if the Libertarian voters broke 2-1 Republican, which I anticipate that they very well could have, there would be no need for a runoff, and Herschel Walker would have won outright in round one. But still, the Libertarians, they have to ruin everything. Republicans need to do what they can to ban them from the ballot. And we talk about what else is at stake with this election in terms of expanding that majority in 2024 quite a bit, because let's say Republicans break even this cycle and Herschel does win, well, they will be able to have 53 seats out of the gate. You're not going to see Puerto Rico and D.C. become states. And not only that, they're going to have a rhino-proof majority. You talk about Lisa Murkowski, the system there, they changed it to benefit her in Alaska. Susan Collins probably isn't going anywhere. She might lose in 2026 depending on who's in the White House, but even that's not a sure thing. And Republicans need at least 52 seats because they have too many rhinos in their caucus that they're not going to be able to get very much done. Obviously, they'll primary, hopefully, Mitt Romney in Utah in 2024. We'll be talking about that as we get closer. But still, there's a lot riding on the Georgia election. Not a lot of people are talking about it, but you got to help out Walker. He's in need of our support. Donate to Herschel Walker. If you live in Georgia, get involved. Door knock. If you don't live in Georgia, phone bank, do something. I'll put the donation link to Herschel Walker in the description so people can give him support down the stretch, because he's going to need that support. And he's going to need it to score a touchdown and stiff arm Raphael Warnock and get into the United States Senate and be there for 6 years. I don't know what's going to happen in 2028, but the bottom line is if Democrats have a little bit more power, there is much more room for error with Manchin, to the point where they're going to be able to do a lot more. And a lot of people think Sinema is this moderate character, and she may have the appearances of being a moderate. She might oppose like far-left minimum wage measures or something like that, but she initially was a member of the Green Party, was very far left back in her day, to the point where when push comes to shove, all she cares about is power, and she's going to be able to use that power to benefit the Democrats. She's going to benefit the left. She's going to pass through all of their agenda regarding amnesty, regarding pretty much everything. She's two-faced. We know how it works. Look at her voting record. So this seat is very important that Republicans have it. Herschel Walker's not somebody that's going to be a boring guy like Perdue who caves in. He's not going to be somebody like Kelly Loeffler, who is very corrupt, very establishmentarian, very unlikable. He's somebody that actually does have support within the base, but hopefully they turn out in high enough numbers to get him over the hump. I don't really have high hopes for this election right now. I'll say tilt to lean D is about fair because of the fact it will be lower turnout. A lot of the voter interest is going to be in the Atlanta suburbs that have been moving left. We just can hope that Brian Kemp can get some of his supporters in those suburbs on board for Herschel Walker. And then obviously you have the rural factor. I don't think Trump is going to come to Georgia to do a rally for Herschel Walker. I don't think he really wants to get involved. A lot of people probably are telling him to stay out. I don't think that would be the determining factor if he was to get involved. I don't believe that him saying at his initial announcement for 2024, vote for Herschel Walker, altered Herschel Walker's chances at all. Is he supposed to tell people to vote for Warnock? What is he supposed to do? Is Trump not allowed to speak again? Apparently, he's not allowed to in the eyes of a lot of these establishmentarian figures. But either way, we got to get Walker over the hump. He's not favored right now. That's very clear. Right now, I don't have high hopes for him, but he could potentially do it under the right circumstances. This is a turnout game. It's going to be won within the trenches, so we'll have to see if Herschel Walker is able to score the most important touchdown of his career this December. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.